What's good? What's good? What's good, folks? What's good, fam? Hey, welcome to Uncut Live with Kenneth Clark. I'm glad you guys are able to tune in and join in on this stream right here. I first want to just kind of like, warm up a little bit with the discussion and that I think is high importance, y'all. I think the topic of discussion that I want to talk about, well, it's not even just one particular topic that I want to talk about, but it's quite a few topics that I want to discuss. Um, Number one, I know we're in this COVID-19 pandemic, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's being released in the news media. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that's being released in news articles and just all the different uh, materials and just all around. One of the things that I find that was very interesting, it was saying that a couple of articles, which is the majority of the articles that I was reading, was saying that the people that have been impacted the most by COVID-19 have been the blacks, have been the African American community. Um, and just being an advocate in the community and just being in touch with a lot of different a lot of different professionals and things of such. And, I was having this discussion and I was basically saying, I was discussing with somebody who works in the medical field, and I was saying, like, I think what the line should actually say is that, if you have borderline issues, that you're subject to be prone to uh, certain diseases like COVID-19. I don't think they should just put the narrative of, to install fear. Um, and so when I was discussing with this professional, she was letting me know. She was like, that's what the headlines and the narratives should be. It shouldn't be, um, you know, it should not be. It shouldn't be what they're putting out in the media. I have another issue because I noticed that, especially those of us in the urban black community, some of us have gotten mad about how the media is putting the limelight of blacks in COVID-19. However, though, what I find to be very interesting, though, when those of us of the black community, we get mad, we get upset about how we're being portrayed in the, in the limelight of media and these sources and people that write about, the impact of COVID-19, its relevance to black community. But what I'm finding to be very interesting, though, is that we are the same blacks that will literally, we will read articles and materials that literally will talk about things that say, black women have got to stop catering to broken black men, you know, um, and all men are dogs, um, and vice versa with the black men too. And I think what we got to start doing is we need to remember what the great Malcolm X said. The great Malcolm X said that the media will have us to be at odds with each other. The oppressor will have us to be at odds with each other, and not realizing that the enemy is not my black brother, the enemy is not my black sister. But we have got to, in all that we intake and all that we digest and all that we read, we've got to keep a balance. I've been saying this for quite the past few weeks. And all that we do, we need to keep a balance in all that we read, all that we watch, all that we hear, all that we allow to enter our eye gaze, all that we allow to enter our hearts. Because what it is that we, before you know it, we could get caught up into this perpetual cycle, y'all, that is, allowing us to become our own poison. You get what I'm saying? And we do this a lot. Not even just with what we see in the media. Sometimes we adopt certain behavior that can be degrading. Um, as being someone in the field of English, I've started to fall in love with the familiarity of the English language, of learning vocabulary, learning vernacular, learning, the real language of words and stuff. I think in the black society that we have to be very careful about the choice of words that we use, even just in general. Parents, parents sometimes when they're communicating with their kids, they'll say things like, "You're gonna be just like your father," or "You're gonna be just like your mother," not as a means to build them up, but as a means to tear them down. So we need to be careful about the choice of words that we use, the choice of how the energies that come behind the very things that we do. I also think it's important that we should be speaking life. We got to make sure that we don't indulge ourselves into this labeling theory. Parents, they often say, "Hey, you're a liar," and we don't understand that. As the words say, that there's life and death in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit of it. So we need to use clarity and specificity when it comes to controlling the words that we speak out of our mouth, especially to our kids. No, what you need to be, what we should be saying as parents is that, "Hey, Matthew, Jonathan, look, the actions that you are taking, you are lying." But don't fall into the trap of the labeling theory by saying you're a liar. No, because you as the parent is to correct the behavior so that the behavior will stop and it won't continue. And sometimes we can be, if we're not cautious, we can become our own poison to that of what it is that we are trying to rear and correct and direct. Another thing, men have got to get out of the habit of calling women biatches. Okay, we all know we got to get out of that. We got to get out of that term, because what you're doing is you don't even realize what you're putting into the atmosphere. There's death and life in the power of the tongue, as was stated once before. Black women, and I'm talking about black men too, black men and black women. Black women, we have got to stop saying, all men are dogs. No, go into detail, go into clarity, go into specificity. Say, "Hey, I feel that, that men, that they, that they cheat, or that men, all they want to do is, X, Y, Z. They just want to be around in women's face. They just want to hit it and get it." Or use specificity, use description, use clarity, because we got to be careful about what we are putting out there into the atmosphere. Because why? There's life and death in the power of the tongue. I cannot stop saying that as much. We got to be careful about what we're speaking in this hour. What are we speaking? What are we saying? What is it that we're saying and we're projecting to the atmosphere? What are we projecting to the universe? I know a lot of people don't like that term, the universe. Oh, the universe, but the universe of the atmosphere, your environment. There's a climate for everything. There's a climate for everything. There's a climate for your household. There's a climate for, the communities. What are you speaking into the air? What are you speaking into the atmosphere? We don't really get the full logistics, though, that there are two realms. There's the angelic realm and then there's the demonic realm. And both of those realms are contingent upon what is being spoke into the atmosphere. And those realms are so very real and powerful, we just don't even realize how powerful that these realms are. So yeah, that's my little wrap up for Uncut Live today. This is just something for thoughts. I pray you guys are able to take something away from this. And y'all stay tuned. for the next segment of Uncut Live with Kenneth Clark. All right, y'all know what the motto is humanism is not about what you have, but it's about what you can give. All right, peace and blessings. One love. Y'all be blessed and less stress. God bless you.